of your coworkers. Okay, pretend they're Superman. No, they're not. That doesn't make any sense.
There was this guy I knew in high school, right? For the sake of this video, we'll call him Jack. Real Jesse Pinkman type. Stoner, burnout, dustiest motherfucker I knew. Long, greasy mullet that went right down past his shoulders that he probably only washed like once a week. And he always dressed in the baggiest, most oversized clothes he could possibly find, always looking like he raided a thrift store in the dark. I kid you not, if he was a cartoon character, there'd be a cloud of dust falling on him like Pigpen. Me and Jack knew each other. We were acquaintances. We were cool with each other. We had a lot of the same classes. We just ran in different circles, so we were never really close like that. But one rainy day in April, we got the day off from school because it was take your kid to work day. But since my mom was super busy writing report cards at the school she taught at, and my dad at this point had gone off to the milk store, as the saying goes, I pretty much had the day to myself, so I spent it just riding my bike around downtown Toronto. But after a couple hours, your boy got a flat tire, so I had to stop in front of this building right smack dab in the middle of the financial district. Rain was pouring so hard I was expecting to see a boat full of zoo animals sail by. I'm just there on my hands and knees trying to patch up this tire. This dude from the office building who looked around my age was probably just like an intern or something. Comes running out of the building asking if I need any help, which I definitely did because I didn't know fuck all about fixing bikes. This dude looked like a damn J. Crew model. Navy blue suit and tie, freshly shined shoes, cufflinks. The man had cufflinks. And the whole time he's helping me patch this tire and blow it back up, he's talking to me like he knows me or something. I was just confused because I'd never seen this motherfucker before in my life, or so I thought, until the job was done and I shook his hand and asked for his name. Bro just stared at me blankly and said, "Dude, are you serious?" It was Jack, whose dad worked in the building behind us. He came with him for take a kid to work day. I had just seen the dude at school yesterday, and here I am standing nose to the motherfucker, and never once did it occur to me that they were the same person. Because what in the name of Tito Jackson would my boy Jack be doing in the financial district in a fucking suit and tie? Not only was his clothes different, his posture was different. He wasn't slouching anymore. He was standing up straight. And sure enough, when I saw him at school the next day, he was right back to looking like a Wayne's World character. If I had never asked for his name, I probably never would have known. So, moral of the story, whenever someone tries to crack wise about, oh, why can't anybody tell it's Superman? He just wears glasses, I just think of my boy Jack. Here are my top 5 favorite extra Rangers in Power Rangers history. If you're wondering what my rankings are for numbers 10 through 6, be sure to go back and watch part 1. But we're just gonna dive right into it. Number 5, Tommy, the Mighty Morphin White Ranger. The man who swooped in and casually usurped Jason as leader of the team, pretty much just took over the show. I already made multiple videos on my opinion that the White Ranger is pretty much superior to the Green Ranger in every way. His drip was better, his Zord was cooler, his rank was higher, and his theme song slapped way harder. White Ranger, Tiger Power. Number 4 is RJ, the Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger, who not only has one of my top 5 favorite suits of all time, not only is one of my top 3 favorite Ranger mentors of all time, he's also the first ever Purple Ranger to be featured on the main team. No Korak doesn't count because he was only purple when he was evil. Watching RJ finally use his skills as a master to aid the Rangers in battle, while at the same time struggling to control the werewolf within, one of my favorite arcs of that whole season. I also found it really interesting that despite being the master and clearly having seniority, he still deferred leadership over to Casey, which not only gave Casey the space he needed to grow, but showed a lot of humility and maturity on RJ's part. I also love seeing him slowly rebuild his fractured relationship with his father, Master Finn, which isn't surprising because family dynamics is one of those things that I feel like the Disney era really excelled at. The only thing that pisses me off about RJ as the Purple Ranger is that I don't have an action figure of him. Now that the damn Lightning collection is discontinued, I probably never will. Thanks, Hasbro. Before we go to the top 3, I want to give a shout out to Cake-worthy retailers, sending me this dope Power Rangers hoodie along with a bundle of other cool Power Rangers merch. Be sure to check out their website and tell them Supafly sent you. Number 3 is Trent, the Dino Thunder White Ranger. It would be absolute blasphemy to not put him on this list. His suit may have been white, but he came at the Rangers with that black Air Force energy when he was evil. Absolute menace on the battlefield, outshined the Rangers on every level. And then when the spell was finally broken and he joined the good guys, like Tommy, he stayed consistent with his badassery. Bro was so cold he had that Arctic background for his morph sequence, spinning around in a tornado of ice like the damn Tasmanian devil. Even his voice in his White Ranger form was tough. Shoutouts to Trent, man. Number 2, Eric, the Time Force Quantum Ranger. Right from the jump, Eric never fit the typical mold of what an extra Ranger usually is. Red Ranger on a team that already had a Red Ranger, never officially joined the team, instead working as an operative for the Silver Guardian. His, let's say, questionable methods often puts him at odds with the Rangers. But that's what I love about him. His character added such a complex dynamic to the show, especially through his rivalry with Wes. He saw Wes as a spoiled, pampered rich kid born with a silver spoon in his mouth and had to fight tooth and nail for everything he had. And then, after years of training, years of combat experience, years of rising through the ranks, he finds out his arch rival, his biggest op, is also a Power Ranger? Eric took that shit personally. Pulled the Quantum Morpher right from under Wes's nose and said, anything you can do, I can do better. I can be a better Ranger than you. Gotta be one of the top 3 pettiest moves I've ever seen in the Power Rangers franchise. And my number 1 favorite extra Ranger in Power Rangers history is Commander Doggy Motherflippin' Kruger. Kruger didn't just have that dog in him, he was the dog. Leader of Space Patrol Delta, mentor of the SPD Rangers, and the baddest motherfucker ever to walk the face of the earth. The SPD Rangers themselves may have already been a formidable team. The second you saw the Shadow Ranger step onto the field, you knew shit was finna pop off. Bro had the Shadow Saber, rode an assault ATV with blasters attached to it, and piloted the Delta Command Megazord, the Rangers base that could transform into a giant robot. Shadow Ranger was him, bro. No ands, ifs, or buts about. Who are your favorite Six Rangers of all time? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're fly like me, give me a follow.
Right, I'm left, I'm left, I'm right, I'm right, I'm left, I'm left, I'm right, I'm right, I'm left, I'm left, I'm right, I'm right.
One of the things about the Bat family that I always find funny in the comics is the blatant nepotism Batman shows toward Damian Wayne compared to the rest of the Robins. And I get it, he's Batman's only biological son, at least that he knows about in main continuity. When you look at the way Batman treats Damian compared to every other Robin he's had before him, he literally and figuratively lets this child get away with murder. Do y'all remember how Batman reacted when Jason Todd seemingly killed the Penguin? My man went apeshit. Hit him like a Jamaican dad working 3 jobs who came home to see his kid's bad report card. And he pretty much disowned him after that, completely kicked him out of the Bat family until eventually he let him back in, all because Jason violated his no-kill rule. Now what are Damian and the Teen Titans up to while all this is going on? Just holding their enemies captive in a secret underground bunker with no access to food or water, keeping them chained like animals for weeks on end, leaving them to die a slow, agonizing death. You know, harmless kid stuff. What does Batman do when he finds out what his son's been up to for all this time? Gives him a stern talking to. Bruce, did you not just finish giving Jason the Arkham City beatdown for killing one criminal? Jason himself says he never even saw you hit the Joker that hard. Meanwhile, the demon spawn over here, your pride and joy, is out here committing literal war crime. You're just like, oh, you kids will be kids, am I right? I 100% agree with this, and it's why I really don't like the direction James Gunn seems to be going with the Batman Brave and the Bold movie. Because by skipping right to Damian as the first real attempt at a live-action Batman and Robin, whether the rest of the Bat family is already established or not, you lose a core fundamental component of what makes the Batman and Robin dynamic work. From the very first introduction of Robin, all the way back in 1940, the reason why he was created was to be the light to Batman's darkness. Actually, the real reason was just to give him someone to talk to, so he wasn't just talking in thought bubbles all the time, but you get the point. Dick Grayson coming into Bruce Wayne's life as Robin humanized it. Robin's youthful optimism balancing out Batman's stoic cynicism set up this narrative dichotomy that endured for majority of the character's history. That dichotomy, that contrast is set up right from their color scheme. Robin's absurdly bright and colorful circus leotard next to Batman's brooding dark and grays, because Robin is the light to Batman's darkness. But you don't get that dichotomy from Damian, because he's literally just a mini Bruce Wayne. He's even more psychologically fucked up. That's why Damian never felt like Robin to me, even in the comics, because he doesn't represent what Robin is supposed to represent. Him being Batman's biological son completely undercuts his relationship with all the other Robins. The idea that Batman, this orphan whose childhood was taken from him the night his parents were murdered, was able to give that childhood back to another young orphan who lost his parents the same way, giving him a home, stability, and the chance to avenge his parents, at the same time learning to let his walls down, learning to let someone into his life, learning to be a father. You can easily get 3 movies out of that premise alone. Like, I always go back to that heartfelt scene where Batman adopts Tim Drake after his father died as his son. The implications of what that meant for their relationship and the bond that they'd built. Even though they might not have been related by blood, there was never any doubt in the reader's mind that Tim Drake was Batman's son. Dick Grayson was Batman's son. Jason Todd was Batman's son. But the moment they introduced Damian, all the other Robins got pushed to the background. To the point where now, as far as the average DC fan is concerned, it's Tim Drake who? It just annoys me that it seems like he's the only Robin we're gonna see actually teamed up with Batman in live action. Especially when I know the only reason they're doing it is because starting with the Robin who was trained by the League of Assassins, to circumvent all the pretentious naysayers saying, oh, Batman's endangering children, he's got an army of orphan child soldiers. Just to that, I'm like, ha ha, comic books are silly. There's not a single 13-year-old child who's gonna watch a Batman movie with Robin in it and think he could just put on a pair of green underoos and fight crime at night. It is fantasy. All this to say, yeah, I never really liked Damian as a character. I think he completely destroys the Batman and Robin dynamic, and while I'm glad we're at least getting some version of Robin on the big screen, I'm disappointed this is the one they chose to go with. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you fly like me, give me a follow. Normalize Wonder Woman being portrayed as a 6'7" Amazonian muscle mommy who towers over everyone. I'm not even saying this for my benefit. I'm saying it for the benefit of society. To improve our quality of life. I want a Wonder Woman who could crush a man's skull between her thighs like a walnut. The kind of woman the Commodores were singing about. James Gunn, you better get on that shit, because I'm coming to your new DC universe expecting results. Don't think I'm playing with you. These terms are non-negotiable, so you better deliver.